Hello and welcome to an emergency edition of Takoyaki Party. My name is Matt, and I'm joined by Ryan.
Yeah, fuck everything.
And also we brought in Jeff and Andy.
We're on an island.
Yep, who are on vacation. We had to bring them in on vacation for this emergency podcast. And that's because we're talking about a very important graduation announcement. We're going to talk about the graduation of Sakamoto, not me. No. That's coming for the next podcast.
Hey, that's important too.
That's an important one. But as it is the rule of two, there must be two. And we're going to talk about the bigger one because this is actually a pretty huge deal. And that is Yamamoto Ayaka, 5th Gen member, announced graduation at her Kanmuri special solo live today. It's kind of a weird, really weird timing. Obviously, fuck 2020. It's can't get any worse. So here it is. How do we feel about her grad announcement?
Yeah, I mean, fuck everything. I don't know. We've been through a lot of this bullshit.
We're numb to graduation announcements. Yeah, so
yeah. I mean,
occasionally one hits us hard enough where we actually have to sit down and chill for a minute and think it over.
Yeah, that's the. I was trying to think what was worse for this. I mean, personally, obviously, the Yuri one was worse for me. But thinking about it, I think this is the worst NMB graduation ever. And that's my hot take. I mean,
that's a hot take as well. I think you're confusing Yamamoto's. You're mixing up the Yamamoto's for worst graduation.
Okay, we all knew that one was coming.
Yeah, see, exactly.
I mean, but to be fair, you can say this one is also coming, but maybe just not now.
No,
well,
I mean...
okay, you know what I mean.
Yes.
So, I think, I'm trying to think, what's, at the level, right? People keep talking about, Riona or Shu, but I don't think I think this is much, much worse than that, though, because, so, Riona is, the similar, would be, future of NMB, blah, 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 but, Aayan was, way higher than her.
Yeah, so that's why I never get, the whole, I miss Riona talk that people talk about. Whereas I think Shu was definitely more, I think, in line with closer to Aayan in regards to the next future ace.
Yeah, so Shu was closer, but with Shu though, everyone there was still a lot of people around when she quit.
Yeah.
So it was kind of sad and whatever, but Sayaka was there, Yuri was there, Miru was there, blah blah blah, right? Aayan was there, but now it's well, okay. So everyone was expecting that Aayan and Kokona are gonna be the future of NMB, but then she's fuck you guys, goodbye.
That was the little translation from her speech that she gave today.
I had to censor out that part.
Yeah, censor out that part. So actually, if you did see we actually did translate and put up her speech up on Twitter with Tep and Subs. So basically, yeah, she said, I want to be a nurse. I want to go into nursing, and so I need to study hard and stuff. And so for that reason, I'm gonna be leaving NMB to focus on my studies and become a nurse, which is very, I guess, in her reasons. She kind of mentioned COVID in her speech because so many people are suffering from COVID. She wants to help those people who are suffering. So it's a very noble reason for her to leave leave NMB and to graduate.
And apparently, there's comments that her mother and sister are also nurses.
Mm-hmm.
It's not common. She's talked about it on.
She's talked about it.
Okay. So it runs in the family.
She says she's always wanted to be a nurse, but then these idols talk about these things, right? No one actually believes them.
How many of these graduated idols have become actresses?
Well, not even that.
Not idol.
A lot of the idols say they want to go into a certain field, professional field.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of them actually made it.
I think none of them make it because these things are always very hard. Being a nurse is not easy, right? It's easy to talk about it, but it's not easy to actually do it.
Well, I also have to you have to think about they also, a lot of them when they graduate they kind of start the race late.
Yeah, if they're going at 22, 23, 25, she's going at just 18 and a half. Presumably, she'll be. We don't know exactly when she's leaving. We'll probably get to that later. But
I think she's gonna be that at the exact correct schedule though, because she's gonna be graduating high school, so she's just gonna go to nursing school after.
yeah,
so.
basically the right time. Yeah, if you're going through like a normal life of like high school, college, then job.
Yeah, she just basically like threw away her high school life, right? But I mean, she's on schedule.
Yeah.
But so I guess like Jeff and Andy's hot takes, they haven't given it yet.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was interesting because we were gonna go somewhere for dinner, and then Jeff was watching Aayan's performance thing.
Yeah.
And then he was joking like, "Oh yeah, there's rumor that Aayan might announce graduation." And I was like, there's no way that's gonna happen. Let's go.
even I was like getting tired of like the encore and the speech, and I was like, okay, let's just go. I'll like bring my headphones. But then like as I was about to get up, she started saying, "Oh, I have an announcement," and then she said the words.
Yeah.
We were just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Which at that moment, I think when she said I had an announcement, I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna be like a photo book or some kind of like good news, right?
She was really like upbeat.
Yeah.
When she said it,
and like you had Ray on stage also with her, but not Coconut. So I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of weird that only she's here, not Coconut. But because obviously if both of them came on like full lap his arch, okay, yeah, that would have been like the nail in the coffin, kind of.
Yeah, because like the people are always suspecting these solo stages now, because like at least half the time the member announces graduation.
Yeah.
But then like I don't know, some people with her Mobame said is gonna be like she was saying, oh, please look forward to it, and like didn't seem like any suspicious things. But then during the show, we noticed that like Chihi and Suzu both tweeted that they were watching. So like members usually don't go out of their way to tweet about a theater show going on. So that was like, maybe something's going on. But then I was thinking, okay, it's just Aayan. Like everyone wants to watch Aayan. But now we know.
Aayan's also that member that seems like be able to hide what she's planning to do.
Yeah, definitely. She's always been very private, right? And keeps up the whole like idol separation between private life.
And I think that's why Matt is not a big fan of her.
I mean, she's always been like the thing that like people like Matt don't like about Aayan is because like she's always been the acting
straight
like
A student, perfect student.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hate to use this term, but she's like very much like a Mary Sue for idols, just like very Miss Perfect, right?
I mean, she is though.
Yeah, so like now, like instead of saying Mary Sue, now you have to say Yamamoto Ayaka. That's like that's what you say instead of Mary Sue.
It's like you want to make up an idol, right? Like
the perfect idol,
Or like your girlfriend who goes to another school. Right?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, my girlfriend moved away.
Yeah. So she totally exists. No, but like it's like that, right? Like when she first came out, like oh no, like it's basically like she came out like whole cloth, like already there. Like there was no excitement. Like for me, when she first came out, it was like there's no excitement following her because like she was already complete as an idol, right? Like and I do understand that. Like yeah, I know it's hard because like you want someone to be like basically like Aayan always like embodied like what you want an idol to be like because she's she's cute, she's a very good performer, and she's always like taken everything very seriously. Like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this properly, right? Like when she does like the Takeda barbecue streams, she fucking like goes and buys like ramen plates and ramen and everything, right? Because she wants to do it properly. And she has like a barbecue set in her house for some reason, and that was that's a very good like example, right, of like what she is like if I'm gonna be an idol, I'm gonna be like, the perfect idol. And paradoxically, it did turn off some people from her because, like, I want, oh, especially the 48 style idol, right? Like, I want the idols who are, ponkotsu, like Kokona, who can't do anything, and
Hmm.
then, now they can speak in complete sentences. Like, I'm so happy.
Does it sound like you're talking about Trump?
I don't think he can speak in complete sentences yet, though.
Yeah, still can't. No.
Yeah, so there's still some growth there for him.
Yeah. I guess I was kind of like turned off by the constant like hyperbolic comments that people make about her. Oh, Godchild. So like I just like just like whenever I see Godchild, I cringe and I get like a little bit more angrier every time I see it. And then when I start using it, I'm using it very ironically. Like, oh, Sasuga Godchild, she got the Moki perfect, of course. So like, I kind of come off as kind of like anti, but it's more just like just I'm not. That's not my like personality type. I don't like the always perfect and people like being overly positive about something.
Yeah, she was, because of that, it's hard to get into her, for me as well. But then, yeah, I've always felt, especially this year, like respected how hard she tries for everything, especially in these tough times, and like all the random new stuff they had to do. Like looking back now, like even the bonsai, like wow, she really got into that.
Yeah, I mean it's completely useless, right? It's not gonna make her popular or anything. She just like, if I'm gonna be doing this bonsai shit, I'm gonna do it properly.
And
Well,
now
think of the like extracurricular. Or getting to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
now she's gonna do nursing school properly.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure she's gonna be successful there, right? Like, what do you guys think about my hot take about like this being like, the biggest graduation ever?
I agree because of, again, not just the member or because I mean you can argue Sayaka for that, but then it's timing and then all the stuff that's led up this year. Like COVID has put all like entertainment, all bands, all groups in a bad situation,
Yeah.
and then in this 48 system, like the individual members also have to think about their futures. So then that's led to several graduations like Namimi, and then like Aayan, we don't know if it's specifically COVID. I mean, she says like she was inspired by the situation to like even more want to go into nursing, but we don't know actually. Maybe she planned this all along if she was seriously going to do nursing. So yeah, so like combination of timing and then like the state of NMB is, I think, yeah, definitely can argue it's the worst. And plus, like we didn't, and that is so unexpected.
Yeah. It's mainly bad timing, I think, to go against the whole good timing song that she's in.
I mean,
I'm gonna say that.
I mean, obviously it's gonna be bad timing no matter what, right? But
This is really bad timing, though.
is that
like all things
timing?
considered, this is like the worst timing.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, it's not even COVID though. It's more that she was gonna be center.
Yes.
That's the thing. Like, imagine like the actual center of NMB just deciding to go away, right? And while like 4 years though, like when would this be for like Sayaka? It would be like, I don't know, Eureka or something like that.
Yeah, which I mean, to be fair, that's like NMB's peak, peak of their peak, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing is, I think it's much more significant is because like people were betting on Aayan basically putting NMB up.
Yeah, to like help carry him, bring him like, because the old NMB is dead, so we were hoping like the new NMB be brought up by Aayan and Kokona, Kojin, and the new generation.
Yeah, exactly.
But we know that never works.
Well,
not a single member can really carry the whole group.
No, that's why I say it's not gonna be a single member. It's like gonna be a group of members. Now we lost like one of our. If this was like a
one of the most important ones.
If this was like a giant dog or something, and we lost one of the legs of the dogs. Now it's a 3-legged dog. I don't know. I don't know why that's like the image I thought of.
It's a horrible example.
Well, she's more like the head, and now you have
maybe a car, I guess, right? We lost one of the wheels.
Okay, let's stop with the morbid example. Like I was thinking, like what could have been worse? Like I can't imagine like a graduation that could be worse than this. Like maybe Kokona.
If
Yeah,
Kokona graduates after Aayan, would you say it's as
Kokona
equally
graduates after
bad
Aayan.
or?
It should just probably close down.
yeah, I might have to agree with you for that. Like even though you still have like
Basically,
Miru, but she's literally like time
yeah.
bomb
I
waiting to
mean,
go out,
the,
waiting to
the,
leave.
the only reason that like Kokona would be worse than Ayan is because like Kokona's younger.
Yeah,
So I mean, I see them both as like the same thing, which is the future of NMB. Like they were supposed to be like the future centers. I was telling everybody, right, like if they do a Sokaku and then they will like redistribute members, then Aya needs to go back to N, right, because like N needs a center. That's like how I saw the Ume Yamamoto thing, is like they have to be like
they're like
I
the Saya
watched.
Milky, basically, right? The new generation Saya
Yeah, they're
Milky.
the new Saya Milky. Like I watched the next gen concert, right? And it was like a great concert. I mean, and then you could see like, okay, so this is the future of NMB. These are gonna be like the people who will, bring up NMB for like when the inevitable happens, right? And basically you just need to wait for Miru and Nagisa to go away and then it's over. So it's just like the new generation now. And now like Ayan is going, oh, it's like, well, like I don't really know what's gonna happen anymore. Like before Ian left, there was always like we would laugh at like other groups at, oh, they have no future, but because they still have like 29-year-olds centering songs for them, and then we have our center is like 18 years old, right? Like because
like we're
that,
good for another few years, right?
yeah, exactly, we're good for another few years. But now like our center is gone. It's like, oh shit, then what are we gonna do?
I don't know. Well, so at least I mean it was a double center, right?
Yeah, so
Kokona
we
and
still have
Ion.
half.
And you can and we are always joking like over the past few months how much Kokona has been favored over Ion, but
Now we know why.
perhaps we know why.
Yeah.
Clearly, I mean, she had something this big. She had to tell management months ahead of time, and then like there were some comments that she originally wanted to do this solo live before her birthday, which is in August.
Mm.
And then who knows? Maybe she would have announced that her Seitan Sai instead, but probably was planning to announce all this earlier. But then she still kept up with all the like work, the next gen concert, the Takeda barbecue and whatever. So really strung us along there.
So the fucked up thing though is that during her Seitan, she said like her dream is to be solo center.
Yeah.
Well, now she's getting hers.
Now we presume she'll be getting hers. Like if we're gonna get to that now,
Keep playing the Yuri card.
yeah, she's gonna be getting like a graduation single. Like she should, definitely should.
She should.
Is she gonna get a photo book?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see.
I mean,
She really
especially if
wants
she's
one.
actually quitting. Especially if she's actually quitting, she's probably gonna get everything. I say quitting when I mean like actually leaving show business. Like NMB will just squeeze everything out of her while they can.
That's true. So yeah, we'll probably get like a single, and like we were speculating like in the Discord, like oh yeah, it'll probably be like in February because that's usually when NMB will release a single. And then we don't know if she'll get a concert. She should get a concert.
When's the last Zoom call? Like not Zoom call, online handshake. Is it January?
Yeah.
There's
the
4 days in
16th or
January.
17th, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so they're gonna need to top up again. So maybe
Yes.
February. Yeah,
That's
February.
what. Yeah, we kind of thought it was weird that they squeezed so many in January, and now we know why.
Yeah. Yeah, that usually happens when they did the Boko Kaire, like finished really really early. It's like, oh, seems like they're like
finished like in October. Yeah. Oh no, Boko Kai finished in October. It was mostly September or October. Yeah.
Yeah. So they finished in October, and then Hatsukoy was in November.
And they got exactly like 1 or 2 events out of that before COVID.
So yeah, I think she is getting a single. Like, I mean, I hope so. It would fucking suck if she didn't.
Yeah.
single, and then
Grad
promo.
concert. We hope. You know,
I mean, I hope so. I hope she gets a grad concert. Like, it would suck if she doesn't get one.
yeah. Well, I mean, she will. I think she will, but it'll be at the Oryx graveyard, which that's gonna suck.
I mean, at her level of popularity, like, Oryx is fine.
It seems fine, but then also consider like her like the symbolism of Aayan. She's like the future, so she should be getting like some kind of bigger concert.
Uh, yeah, but
But
like,
not
I
that
think
would
she's
also
never
be like
done
2 years, 3 years later if she was leaving at a normal time, a time she should be
exactly,
leaving.
exactly. If this was like 2 or 3 years from now, right? Then we can like
Get
say
like
that she should get like Kobe or something
yeah,
or Osaka Joe Hall. But yeah, I think right now Oryx is fine for her. Like I hope they can do it. Like I mean I'm assuming like as Jeff said, right? They must have known this early, like a long time ago. So they must have been planning for it because if not it would suck. I really think so. Like I mean we can go to the like discussion about the timing, and I think she has to leave by March
yeah.
if that's her life plan, right? Like Shu has to leave by March because I mean, I have no idea if nursing schools are different than normal colleges, but I'm assuming because it's Japan, right? Everything starts in April. So if she's gonna be going to nursing school, she's gonna be going in April.
Yeah, which means everything will be probably like ramping up February, March for her.
Yeah. So let's say there's a single in February, and then a graduation it releases in. I mean, I don't know. When will they announce it? Maybe they'll announce it in the January
That's
show.
yeah, because we were also talking about that, like, how there's like a lot of like big news they can pull out of that.
Yeah, maybe they announce it in the January show and then release it in
February.
February and have the concert in March. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, so especially considering like we're just now trying to get out of the whole COVID thing, so she's not going to be able to have a proper concert and it's still going to be low capacity.
Yeah.
But also it would kind of work out like in NMB's normal schedule, because if it was a normal year they would have like their spring concerts in March as well. So
yeah, maybe like Jeff or Andy has like a better perspective because like for me like everything just seems so like dark now.
Yeah. I mean, everything rests on Kokona now, right?
mm-hmm.
I mean, if you even after you accept this, the big thing for me now I realized is that now you use up another single on like Ion's graduation, and then it yet further delays the transition, right? To
The transition to power.
Whatever. Challenging the votes. I mean, like, when is Kokona gonna get her solo center? Like, it's pushed back another one. Like, we were discussing maybe the next single could be that.
Yeah.
That you know what, and that's a good point because like if for example Aayan gets a February one, that means that Miru or Nagisa is gonna get the next one.
Yeah, yeah, and we're back to like this constant loop is like ping pong of like, well, now it's just continuous streak of graduation singles right now. Like it'll be 3 in a row of grad singles.
Yeah, and if there was no date, it would have been much longer streak. And then like, so if we're lucky, we get like 3 singles this year. If we're lucky, right? So maybe like something in the middle, like a summer one with Kokona Center.
Yeah, or an album.
Before like an October or November one with Miru or Nagisa.
Yeah. So it'd be like, winter. So yeah, February Aayan single, summer, either summer single or even album. You get like a Masaka Singapore thing. I guess we're a little due for an album, even though they don't really have 2-shot events, so you can't really, unless they do dumb online 2-shot events.
Yeah.
And then fall you would have a grad single for Nagisa or Miru.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think we can hold on to Miru and Nagisa for one more year.
Yeah, one of them's going to be going, if not both of them. We might get like an Akari and Saipi situation with those two. They both announced like close to each other.
But hey, Anton said there's no age rule.
But Nagisa and Miru are kind of far away from the 25 though. Both of them are 23.
Yeah,
So we
but
could have theoretically they could wait 2 more years. But I don't know. I think it's time, especially with Nagisa. Because I
yeah,
already know what Miru wants to do afterwards, but like Nagisa, she already has her career.
Yeah, she's pretty much like just not. She's kind of like the Yukine now, where like she doesn't really need AKB or NMB now. Doing her own thing.
Yeah, I mean, but like, so my friend says something very interesting about Nagisa is because he looks at it the other way around. He says like, well, Nagisa can do what she does now with NMB, right? So why would she want to leave?
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense, but like at some point you just have to like give way.
I mean it'll probably just be like after the shuffle, and she's not captain anymore, so she doesn't have like the huge responsibility.
I think in the January 1st show, they're just gonna announce like new theater shows for the teams, like 7-member theater or something, and then do a sokaku.
yeah, because even the full teams aren't really necessary.
It's why they're not letting fans in, right? Maybe they're gonna get members to sit in the chairs so they can do sokaku, same as 2 years ago.
Okay.
Do they announce and then do it on the same day? I thought they always announced beforehand.
6th anniversary they did on the same day.
I think the last one that was announced beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't do Senshuraku though, so that's kind of gonna be painful, especially with Jeff, like how much he loves Team N.
And it's like how you keep saying all this as a foregone conclusion.
I mean, it is though.
Gonna lose Captain Chihi. Chihi will still be around, but not Captain Chihi.
We usually have Sokakus every 2 years. I mean, I don't know.
But
I actually don't know anymore because like Aayan's going, so there's like no point because there's no point in like shuffling centers. So B2 had like 2 centers, so we could like distribute one of them to N, right? But now like Aayan's gone, so Kokona can be B2 center, and that's it. So we still don't have one center.
yeah, I mean the problem is there just aren't enough members to make full teams anyway until
Yeah.
you promote 7th gens. So I think it makes more sense to wait.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Get back to Aayan. I think we're kind of lost the thread on Aayan. It's sad to see her go. As much as like she's not one of my favorite members. It is sad to see her go. But I think it's more like sad because of how it affects NMB and less because of Aayan.
It becomes way more sad if you consider like how it affects NMB.
Okay, so do we want to start wrapping up our thoughts on the grad?
for once it's not gradcomment.txt.
Yeah, for once, we actually have like somewhat meaningful stuff to say.
But I thought her actual announcement was like kind of thin. I mean, there's not much to say, right? Like
It's only
even
2 minutes long, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah,
she had the
exactly.
interaction with Ray, but I didn't really pay attention to that part. And we kind of like saw, I guess we kind of knew this was happening even in her actual performance. Like they had one of the VTRs where she's like at the school and she writes on the chalkboard, NMB is my youth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, that's like the most common like phrase for like graduates or members who are going to graduate.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Whenever members say that, like it just makes me sad. Because like, we are fans, right? We just watch. So they're doing like the idol thing for our entertainment basically.
They're these young girls and we're these old guys.
Yeah.
So it just makes us feel really old when we see like, oh, all these young girls keep passing through.
Yeah, I mean, putting aside like the creepiness aspect of all of that, but it's the whenever they say, right, like what Aayan said, right, like NMB is the entirety of my youth. It's like it just makes me sad because like, oh shit, yeah,
sacrifice
right.
this, right?
Yeah, like she sacrificed basically her youth for NMB, and that just like makes. I mean, it's her life, right? Whatever, but it just makes me sad that like basically we churn through all of them, and it's always like the same thing every single time. And like when she said that, like when she did the video thing, like NMB is my youth, it's like, oh fuck, this is coming. I think in a way we should be happy for her because she has life planned, right?
Yeah, she's
rather
getting
than hanging on until like you're 29 and like can't actually quit anymore.
you
It's
don't
like
have your parents' insurance anymore.
yeah.
Got to start taking unemployment. Can't be claimed as dependent.
Well, I think in Japan you can claim anyone to be your dependent. Like it's like I'm gonna do this idol thing until I graduate high school, and then I'm gonna continue on with my life. And in a way, that's amazing. I feel like I don't know, in a weird way. I never was Ayan Oshi. I never liked her that much, but it was like it's like I'm really proud of her that she is able to make that kind of decision.
Yeah, and I think prior to the call, Andy was saying he probably likes Ion the most out of all of us. So maybe he has like some strong thoughts about this, some feelings about this.
It's not much to think about. I mean, like we all when we follow these girls, we all know there's some days they're all gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some happens sooner than later. And I think we've seen so many people come and go. I think, right now thinking about it, it's like all dark hour. But I think
the sun will come up
like
tomorrow.
yeah,
Life will move on. Another graduation will be announced.
After this period, like we start to see Kokona do her stuff. We're gonna think like, oh yeah, maybe NMB is probably go okay.
Yeah. Maybe you're right, but I mean, especially with maybe me and Andy though, we've been in this the longest. But you do get numb to it, like the biggest, like when Shu graduated, right? It was like, oh fuck. But maybe you still have like these other girls, right? Like Yuri, Liripo, and all of that are still around. But then and with Riona, it was like, well, she's new, so whatever.
Yeah, she was barely around for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. Ayan's the gut punch though. Like maybe this is like how people felt when like Joe graduated the first time. Now that I think about it, that was like kind of a big deal. Like her coming back actually like made it useless. But
yeah,
the first time was like, oh, like because it was pretty much like the same style, I guess. Like gonna be like the next pushed girl, blah blah blah. But like the difference was that at that time, like Sayaka, Milky were still around and all of that. Now that there is no safety net. Like I think someone said that like the safety net for Miru's graduation is now gone.
yeah.
So it's gonna be like I think when Miru graduates, that's gonna be like oblivion. As I mean, as Andy said though, like it's gonna be Kokona, and then if she's not able to handle it, then we're pretty much fucked.
Yeah, I think Coconut will be like the last straw, probably. Assuming there's like no good talent that comes out of like 7th gen. They're still new, so we're still waiting on them to actually develop and become something, and then even have like presumably 8th gen might be coming next year.
I mean, they'd have to get an 8th gen now. I don't know. I mean, I hope. It's hard. I can't. So before we started, like I think Andy said that like he was surprised that I was like so broken up about this, and yeah, I think more than so. I never liked Aayan at first because I have an allergic reaction to goryoshis, and that's still true. I really don't like goryoshis, but like I think especially when Yuri graduated, like I started like seeing Aayan in like a different light. I think maybe like even before Yuri graduated, maybe like when Sayaka graduated, it was more like there's very few idols who take it seriously. And I remember, and I remember like a few weeks ago actually, like on Tepen Radio when Saipi was on, she said that like she was really happy that Ayan became center with Date Date Date, and she said like, and she actually said like something that I was thinking was that she thinks that Ayan deserves to be center because she is what what you always want to hold up as the ideal idol, like someone who works hard and who never gets into scandals, who does their best.
Instead of the
And-
American dream, it's the Namba dream.
Yeah, because so I always said this. So like even like at the start when I was still starting out with NMB, I always like whenever I would discuss with other fans, I would always say that like even if you're not like a Yamamoto Sayaka fan, right? Like you would have to respect her because of how hard she works, like how good of an example she is to everybody. And I always thought that that was really important because like if you're just like some random member in NMB, right? And you see that like like the number one pushed girl, like the top of NMB was like how much she worked, how hard she worked, and how like good of a person she was to everybody, then you will feel like okay, then I have to follow that because or else I'd be an embarrassment. And I think like Aayan, like like really, I have come to appreciate like how much she embodied that part of Sayaka, and I was thinking like she deserved to be center just for that, because if you're center and like you work that hard, you don't play around, you don't do stupid shit. So it will serve as a really good example for other members too. You see like the centers like that, then I have to shape up and I have to follow that.
So I think that sounds like a good point to wrap up. All right, well, I think that's going to do it then for our emergency podcast about Aayan's graduation. Thanks for listening. Let us know what you think about Aayan graduating from NMB 48. And subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts at. And be sure to stay tuned. In the next couple days, we'll be releasing our end of the year awards podcast. So you'll definitely want to check those out. Have a good one. Peace.